Cool. Let's go, let's go, let's go. So what are we doing? Welcome back. This is Logistical Nightmare Racing. We're gonna do a little bit of something different this time around and giving you a bit of highlights of last week's race, which was the MSA round 2 Misano. So everyone sit down, sit back, chill, relax, and then have a peek at what has occurred last week. Now this was fantastic all over. Reverse grid positions, the whole shebang, lots of passing maneuvers. This is the start of the race, first time ever Neville kicks it off in the front of the grid, and from that I will leave it to everyone to just take a peek and see what occurred. Catch you later. Couple of folks joining on the stream. Welcome Fenter, welcome Sumix. This is just a highlights reel of last week's race at Misano, having a peek to see how this MSA Cup Championship evolved over the last couple of weeks. Now today we're going to head off doing the final race at Kyalami, so hope you have your comfortable seats, your whatever drink you have in your hands, because it's gonna be an epic final race at Kyalami. Just over 10 minutes to go. 10 minutes. Still watching the fantastic moves by all individual drivers. Now, of course, this is Mayer there that worked his way through the field from the back of the grid. Was very smart and clever in what he had to do to win this race. And I reckon he has done a phenomenal job to get things where it is and was. Everyone joining in, welcome. This is just a fantastic day to the LNR MSA Final Cup Championship. We are looking at the highlight reel, is what I would call it, of the Misano race round 2 last week, where we had such a unusual starting grid for some of the pro-am boys, and as you can see, they are working their way through the grids. Couple of fantastic moves here and there. Now, of course, here we have a Musa making its moves on Dave Young, but again, that is just not for championship position, just making its way through. So fantastic drives. Grab your popcorn, get it on your seats. We are gonna have an epic final race today, so only a few more minutes before we kick it off. Let's get going. Race highlights. Going back again, just saying hi to everyone. So we've got Venter on the line, Samix, I'll see you, Bad Antonio. Welcome, welcome. This is our highlights reel of last week's race at Misano. Proudly brought to you by Assetto Corsa Competizione. I mean, go back, you can check the highlights, see what has happened, see what really occurred. This is just a fantastic overview of where we sit of last week's race. These boys were battling it out all over the track from back to front. Now, of course, we had a reverse grid starting positions in this Cup Championship. Now, of course, today is the final race at Kyalami, so be prepared for probably one of the best races you will see in sim racing this year at Logistical Nightmare. I hope that I hope that everyone has got well prepared for what is going to occur. The service will kick off in a few moments time, and while we're at it, just letting you all enjoy fantastic racing highlights here on the LNR MSA Cup Championship. So you got people bumping up and jumping up everywhere else. We are almost live for the LNR Championship. This is just what we call the highlights of last week's race. It was epic and fantastic. I think we can probably kind of skip onto that to see where we are with the racers. So let's head out and get ready to, I would say, rumble. There we go, there we go. Welcome back, everyone. This is, of course, the actual live event. We are in Kyalami today. Thank you for sitting back and just enjoying what I would have identified as just a bit of the highlights reel of last week's race at Misano. It was epic in general. The boys came out smashing it out of the park all over the show. We had reverse grid starting points, starting positions for some of the drivers, and it just gave us such an epic result. I mean, I would have never thought that doing weird starting positions like that would have ever been any better than what we saw. Currently, we got like a bit of 3 minutes left for these boys to do their warm-ups. Now we don't have a lot of individuals on the grid, but that is all good in general. I mean, we're all here just to see what's gonna happen, and in general what I would like to highlight is, of course, where we sit with the championship points. Now, of course, we will start off with the Pro-Am division, whereby, as you can see currently at the moment, the Pro-Am standings is De Jager leading the pack between everyone else. He's being chased down by Dave Young, and then of course we have Daniel Buerta, who wants to get into the mix as well. So I think it's going to be an epic battle for probably the top 4 boys in the Pro-Am division. While we're at it, let me just see if I can find some of these guys. De Jager in the pits at the moment, sitting there quite comfortably. So is Young. So these boys are not really doing much at the present moment, getting ready for what I think will potentially be an epic battle between them. Lots of boys on the mix here, shouting out for everyone else. De Jager's been the man that has really brought up its A game, which is quite interesting. And then, of course, the next thing what we need to look into is the pro division. Now, from the pro division, the things are slightly different there in the standings point. Mayer, capitalizing on every victory thus far, took first place in round 1 and round 2. And then, of course, his semi-partner or his partner in crime, a Bauer, bringing it up in second place. And then there is a battle for third between Musa, Sorodia, and then Peterson seems to be creeping it up here from the rear end, sitting in fifth place. Whether he's got enough today to bring it in to grab that third position from Musa and Sorodia, that's to be determined. But I think at this present stage, Mayer and Bauer, based on how they've performed throughout the series so far, seems to be an inevitable choice as the Cup Championship for the season. A couple of more minutes left for these boys to do what needs to be done. And again, while we do that, we're going to run down and do a quick break just to make sure that everything's perfectly fine when we hit the track. So, see you all soon. There we go. And we are ready to nearly kick off the race today. These boys are going to do the, I would say, finally, a warm-up lap. Like something we have not seen in ages. It just brings you to show that sometimes a warm-up lap is just one of those beautiful things that you want to get just to settle the nerves. In the front of the grid is Mayer, followed by Bauer, then of course Musa, Sorodia, Peterson. That top 5 battle is gonna be absolutely epic. And now we should not forget the Pro-Am division here. We've got the Jager. He is side by side by Young with the Aston Martin. And then, of course, Buerta in the background with Van der Sand driving for Pace Motorsport. So I reckon there's going to be epic battles here in general. A few Pro-Am division boys in place, but the battle today will be front runners, Mayer and Bauer, two brilliant teammates. Now they drive for the same team, calling themselves Martian Racing, which I would presumably assume is one of the top aliens of what we have in South Africa. And then of course Musa in his background with the BMW project Vapor. He's got Serodio on his tail engine. Now this is only the warm-up lap for the boys, so they're gonna just get everything ready. Helicam all on the way. Epic view from a grid point standings. And I gotta admit, it's been a while since we've been at the Kyalami circuit, one of the most beautiful circuits in, I don't know, I can't think of a track much better than Kyalami, in all fairness. Like, it's absolutely phenomenal. This is where we get what we will call passing the mine shaft into Crocodile, and then heading straight into what I would say is one of the trickiest corners that we could find, which is we call the cheetah or the bump stop. This is an end career corner on the head. Now these boys are going to go side by side, getting it ready for the penultimate race, or the final, our final at LNR on the MSA Cup Championship for 2024. A big shout out to MSA for allowing us to do this. I'm gonna give a big thanks to them. I hope you boys are as ready as I am, because my adrenaline is pumping and I'm not even the boy driving. Green light is a go all the way. Mayer and Bauer heading down the track, side by side action all the way, looking at from the top end. As you can see, Bauer looks to seem, did he take the inside line? No. Mayer still ahead of Bauer. Great start by the boys in general. Mayer making a fantastic move. Serodio, however, on the other hand, capitalized on Musa from the grid start. So Serodio jumped Musa. Peterson is in 5th spot. Skitter, beautiful start by him as well. Also want to get into the mix there. And then, of course, the famous farmer throughout the series. Everyone's been calling his name on the YouTube channel chat. Go Farmer, go Griffin. Sim racing is what I've seen all over. Ahead of the pack. Now going to the Pro-Am division, we've got the Jager. He's already got 3 pro boys in between him, snuck out, and that is a brilliant start for him. I mean, what could you have asked for? Nothing more than that. Absolutely nothing. Dave just caught off guard or just too cautious. He's got Ferrara, Heineken and Hereford in between him and the Jager. Both are not far from him, so is the Noon. These boys have kicked it off brilliantly. Front of the grid, we still have Mayer chasing his overall victory, and if he takes it today, that is 3 victories in a row to clinch a title that he thinks he deserves winning today. Serodio, however, also in the mix. It's all about who can finish it off in the most fabulous entries or final finishings of what we have. Now, these boys have to do a pit stop, however, so it's all about planning in the pit stop. We got tire changes and we've got, do we have fuel? No fueling really allowed, but they're going to switch a bit of tires in and out so they can go very hard now. Take it in like a 20-minute qualifying session, followed by another 20-minute qualifying session, and then at least you have a few minutes whereby you can spare your tires and get it all in the final final result. Where am I? Even I'm so nervous. Up to Lukop, here comes Meyer. Still no challenges from the back end of the bigger individuals, going all the way down to Mineshaft as he's comfortable in his lead at the moment. And of course, top 10 is within 5 seconds of each other, so anything can go. We're still early in the mix here. The Acher doing fantastically well for himself. He has caught up onto Favir. Dave Young, on the other hand, opened it up, full tanks out. He knows he's got to chase a man down in order to win this championship. So big ups to him going forward. Ferrara in the background, and that could be very, very tactical. The Acher still making moves. He just did a beautiful move on Favir, opening the gap as big as he can the further he goes along. I reckon the Pro-Am Championship race is going to be one of the better ones out of the two. Looking ahead, Musa under severe pressure there by Peterson and Skutter. And this is going to be interesting how Peterson will tackle Musa with the BMW. He has very few opportunities on this track to make a move. Up and coming is Lukov, but he has to get a lot closer than what he is at this moment. Made a slight error of judgment in those final few corners, and there we go. Skutter taking the opposition away from Peterson. Two Logistical Nightmare boys chasing it down. Skutter feels way more comfortable with that Aston Martin than Peterson, although I said a few errors here and there will allow you to lose position. Doesn't matter how quick you are. And now we still have 3 individuals running it down into the straights. Does that Honda have more legs to get his position back, or has Skutter secured it and has opened up the chances of challenging Musa there for the position? BMW is still getting very well comfortable in its position as we head down to Sunset. Meyer, the leader of the race, comfortable at his moment. That is like, I have this in my pocket, and only Meyer would be able to do this. It's astonishing how this man has created a gap within the first few minutes of the race already. Bauer has absolutely nothing to add to gain more time. And if you look at it, Meyer was half a second quicker on the last lap than anyone else on the track. He is the fastest man on track. He has the fastest time on track. So Meyer is out there to prove a point. Musa and Skutter battling it out. Outside corner. Ooh, that would have been very, very dangerous into Cheetah though. This is a big four-way battle here for fourth position. Again, every point counts. Just look at that rear wing there. Look how close Skutter comes, looks on the inside line. This is a dive into the first corner. Skutter takes the opportunity, makes the move on Musa. Musa under severe pressure there by Peterson. Does he cover all defenses? Peterson looks on the inside, decides not to do so, and still carries on. Three-way battle on the move. I have goosebumps everywhere. Now Peterson is under pressure by Farmer. Farmer looks on the inside, tells Peterson, keep an eye, because I'm definitely gonna make something of this happen. This four-way battle has evolved significantly in the first few minutes of the race. Unbelievable how that has developed. The Jager, on the other hand, in the Pro-Am division, he is just moving forward as much as he can. Next individual in his eyesight is Favir. Getting into the top 10 of the Pro division. This man is making headlines all over the show. Now, of course, Dave Young is not far from him. He has caught up a little bit onto the Jager. We'll keep an eye out as that goes on. Van der Sand, Van der Berg, and all the other boys are far behind the two leading battles at this stage. Now, of course, we still have good fights here. Farmer and Musa once again meet side by side into turn one, as of course they head into barbecue. Musa defending all over the show. He just doesn't seem very comfortable in that car today. BMW not doing what it's supposed to do. However, on the other hand, Sorodio looks quite comfortable. That is Peterson looking on the outside. Not the best way to make any positions on the side of the track here. Hard close contact is inevitable if they continue this being aggressive. Farmer in the mix there too. And now we have another four-way battle here. Because Holtzhausen has brought his way through, and Holtzhausen squeezes Farmer into Lukop. Daring move there by Holtzhausen. Is that strategic? In a sense, just to make sure that Peterson has got a bit of a breathing position to Musa to take another gap. Is Holtzhausen holding off a Farmer? Again, these are team boys, Logistical Nightmare Racing on 7th and 6th. Anything's possible. Musa and the Honda once again. As Peterson goes on the outside, Musa does not go defensive. This is a long-term gain now. He has potentially thought about it, but then decided not to be aggressive in his defensive moves, because he needs to think about the long-term drive of it. There's still 50 minutes of racing left. Anything can happen. Things are here for the long run. But brilliant driving so far in the mid-back. In all fairness, we've had 4 fantastic passing opportunities created by Peterson. Skutter also in the mix, and then Holtzhausen bringing it in there as best as he can. Jager, on the other hand, is there in the front row. Now this can give me a level of opportunity. Where do we sit on the YouTube chat? Ubad, big thanks to all the sponsors. Ubad, I would agree 100% with you. A massive big thanks for all the sponsors this season at the LNR MSA Cup Championship. Anro 146 shouting out for the Martian boys. Let's go. Well, I have to be honest, Anro, I don't think anyone can beat them on track today. They have created a massive gap in between themselves at this time. Farmer, on the other hand, under severe pressure there by, oh no, Farmer chasing down Musa. Holtzhausen, I had to have made a mistake at some point, and I don't know what has happened. Let's just see if we can pick that up. 60 seconds back into the group. This is where we sat at, and I might have missed it. So Holtzhausen all over the back of Musa looking good coming through mineshaft. Looks on the inside line. Didn't make the move in general, so great turn over there. Still no issue, so he had to have made a mistake. There's a cheetah where he... Oh yes, cheetah. A big knock onto the bump there by both Neville and Holtzhausen. Cheetah will ruin your race. Gotta be all over it, otherwise it will destroy your race. Heading back into the live race scenario. Oh, people making pit stops already, getting stop-go penalties. That is not good. That's entry into the pit lane way too quickly. Griffin boys driven by Farmer. He's under pressure now, gained by both Holtzhausen and Neville. Jager doing well. Dave Young has dropped a lot of positions. I have no idea what has happened to this man. Let's just see if we can pick it up. Car 29. I see no incidents on the logs for car 29 with another car, so I somehow have the feeling that this man made a mistake somewhere in the race that has caused him to drop a lot of positions back now. He is currently behind Buerta and Denoon, so his championship battle for first place in the Pro-Am division is slowly slipping away, which means he's got a lot of work to do. Now, of course, it's only a few seconds to catch up, so a good couple of laps might still be there. Back here in the mix again, Musa, the man that's seemingly in the mix with all the battles today. Musa is our entertainment. No offense to the individual, he is really fighting hard, trying to fend off everyone that wants to take their positions. Farmer very, very close to Musa. At BMW doing as much as he can to stay away from that Ferrari. Farmer not doing a deep dive into the first corner, so some good speed between both cars. Hubert giving a big shout out there for the Jager, keeping it up clean, calm and consistent. I would not disagree with that at all. He looks to be very, very stable in his position to capitalize and win the Pro-Am division for the Cup Series at LNR. However, still big battles here in 5th spot. Now, where they would do and where they would end up is still to be determined, but things have slightly changed. Like, Peterson has now taken the fastest lap of the race. Now Peterson on the hunt down towards Skitter. He did lose the position to Skitter not so long ago, and Skitter as slowly catching Sorodio in 3rd position. So Sorodio, a very, very hard competitor on the track. He is not gonna let that position slip away from him at all. And of course we can have a quick peek at just the championship points for everyone to have an idea, just to do some calculations. Where we are, Musa is falling behind. However, Sorodio needs to do the best he can in order to potentially get that third position. And then of course we have Peterson in the mix as well as Farmer there, so plenty of work that these guys can do. But it just doesn't seem like the BMWs are really enjoying the Kyalami track today. Only 29 degrees, however a bit warm. I do know that BMWs perform very well in low track temperature conditions as opposed to a warmer scenario, but that might have changed since the last time I've sat behind the wheel. Inside move there by Skitter. Ooh, I reckon he is going to take a position away from Serodio. Goes on the outside. Serodio goes defensive, not allowing it. Is Skitter gonna do it on the outskirts? Ooh, this is so close heading into Cheetah. Two side by side will not end up well for anyone through the track. Serodio, bit of balance, decides to go into the pits. I think that is very, very smart by Serodio. Get new tires, get your pit stop done, but that doesn't stop the situation. Peterson all over the back of Skitter, hunting it down, opening it up, takes the inside line. No real defense there by Skitter. Peterson now in third position. Now this is going to change few things of how they evolve throughout the race. But currently we have a potential change in the top of the points position. It does depend where the other individuals end up to, but it is where it is. Farmer on the other hand also fighting for getting what he thinks and feels deserves. Now he's got a four-way battle on you with Musa, Neville and Holzhausen, so anything can go. He drives so good, so clean, so simple. De Jager looking fantastic in its own level. I don't think he's got any competition close to him. Buerta on the other hand, he is fending off Dave Young there, who is either hurt or struggling, and I don't see anything practically wrong on the lap times for Dave Young, so still driving phenomenally well at this moment. So I don't think, and it doesn't look like there's any damage. It had to be a hiccup in some corner that just caught him off guard. I still keep a good eye on this four-way battle. Farmer feeling the pressure from the rear end there by Neville, and of course Holzhausen not far off. We definitely have two Ferrari boys, one Aston Martin, one BMW in the mix. This is close for any circuit on any given day. And for everyone on the stream, welcome, welcome. This is our final race at Kyalami. The definitive decision on who is going to be the LNR MSA Cup champion for 2024 in both Pro and Pro-Am division. A season that brought us lots of ups and downs throughout the series. We initially started off with a season to define, 2 seasons to define who will come and battle it out. Ooh, as they all want to go side by side here. Farmer wanting to be the aggressor, understood that Neville also had the same tactic in mind. This is a tough one for any of them, and looking at the wing here of Farmer, Neville very close. Who's gonna go the defensive line? Who's gonna take a move? And none of them being very, very cautious into turn 1. looking for other locations to capitalize these four boys, which does make it quite interesting, because like Crowthorne is the ideal location to make your move once you've passed the Ingwe coming down the start finish line. If you are close enough, Crowthorne is where you will make your move. Your leading driver will either go defensive or stay on his racing line. To try and do that at any other location is just so hard. The alternative is coming up at Leeuwkop or taking it into Crocodiles, which just means you need to keep the momentum. Neville trying to push on the outside. Not gonna happen this time. I have a funny feeling he's gonna make a big dive into Crocodile. Farmer going defensive. Big move there by Neville. Still not in the right decision or right place, however. But these boys really want to make it a tricky race. Farmer into the pits, and I think that is very clever by him. Opens for Musa up, gives him a bit of relief. Now again, pickups to Musa from Project Paper, keeping four boys behind him all the time. He is driving as like just magnificent. So let's go to the front of the pack. This is Meyer. I feel like I just don't give the man enough screen time at all. For what he has achieved throughout the season is just phenomenal. Now he's got his teammate behind him in second place, but Meyer took a victory into round one and then again grabbed it in round two, and I have to honestly state that was a spectacular, phenomenal victory. This man had to work his way through a reverse grid start to take a victory at Misano. One of the things I have not seen in a very long time. Cleverly though, he decided to do his pit stop in the beginning of the race, ensured that he had clear track ahead of him the whole way through, and by the end of the race all he did was pick off everyone to take a phenomenal race victory. Bauer not far from him, of course. Bauer also in the mix here, but I reckon victory will be taken by Meyer today. It just seems inevitable. And now Peterson in the mix for a potential third place. He has created a bit of gap between himself and Skutter, and of course the man that needed that was in there was Serodio. Now he's already done a pit stop, and the battle is on between, I reckon, Serodio and Peterson for that final grid spot. Musa cannot disclose and discount of him. He's also there. However, things do change. Now, a few of the individuals have put it. Where's the Jager currently in the pit box? He is the leading Pro-Am man at this stage. I reckon he is still going to come out ahead of both Dave and Denoon. Denoon only heading into the final corner here. And then of course Van der Berg has not done his pit stop, but that won't discourage the Jager. He knows he's got one man ahead of him, which is Van der Berg, but Van der Berg needs to do his pit box stop. So nothing to stress from that. Dave Young on the other hand has fallen more backwards. It just doesn't seem like it's Dave's day today. Came out all swinging in the first start of the race, had a fantastic start, and now he's behind Van der Sand, who's in Pace Motorsports. Now of course this, and that's a long way back, like 15 seconds away back from Van is shocking. Something occurred. If anyone on the stream knows what's going on, give me a heads up, because that is a big change. For that position. Ooh, as my camera's heads up. There we go. "30 minutes of racing." Well, just over 30 minutes of racing left. Most of the individuals would go into pit boxes at this stage. As you can see, it's just filling up everywhere. All the Pro-Am boys, most of the Pro-Am boys is in the pit, apart from the top 7 then. That is Jayager just filtering his way through. He's got a big gap between himself and Danoon, so very, very comfortable there. He knows where his battles is as they head into sunset. Takes the slow drive through that. Is that Dupree with the Aston Martin in the Pro division? Based on his delta, he's about 12 seconds adrift from Farmer. Farmer did his pit stop. He is not far from Naval. Naval managed to capitalize on a pit stop ahead of him. Musa also done what needed to be done, but they are evidently a few seconds behind this man, Serodio, driving for Project Vapor. Some of the front end grid boys also in the mix. Holzhausen doing his pit stop now. Question is, where is he going to filter out? Is it going to be ahead of a Farmer, or will he filter out? Ooh, this is going to be close. Very, very close. Farmer falls right behind Holzhausen. That had to be a fantastic pit stop to jump Farmer in the box, which is so close, literally so close. It's like a second that between these two boys, literally in total pit time. Kind of does make you show that there wasn't really much of an undercut from putting first. It's more of the man that put it second is the one that capitalized, but that does not take away from where we had Holzhausen now under severe pressure by Farmer. These boys are close to each other. They're probably the closest in the box. So the front runners in the pit box stage, so both Meyer, Bauer and Skutte in. Just having a look at as Meyer comes out of his box, followed by Bauer. Clean air, no disruptions from them at all. Peterson decided not to box as of yet. So Peterson pushing it through as much as he can with his Honda. Only 2 individuals on track not pitted at this stage, both Peterson and Ferrara. So everything's slowly settling down. De Jager, on the other hand, hunting down Heineke. Farmer and Holzhausen are battling it out in the pro position. This is for 9th spot. It's just, I love it how pit stops just spreads out the people from the track. An intelligent man once told me that if you're gonna have a pit stop race, the thing you need to actually actually practice on is pit entry. And your pit stops, you gotta get it right. Those 1 or 2 seconds is just gonna count whether you gain a position or lose a position. And in this pure instance, as an example, in between Holzhausen and Farmer, looking at the data, telemetry and information on screen, is all it counted was 1 second. Farmer was ahead of both Nivelle and Holzhausen prior to the pit stop, and a quicker pit entry exit is what has evolved. This is very, very crucial. Taking away from what the guys do, I mean, 1 second is very, very minute, but it could have devastating effects on a race result that you just do not want in any circumstances. Back of the grid, Pro-Am division is very, very settled. Peterson has done his pit stop. Now he is still currently in penultimate third position, a few seconds ahead of Serodio, so he has managed to jump Serodio through the pit boxes, but Serodio is not far from him. These two boys can see each other through the grid as they head through the S's up into Leeuwkop. So it's still an any man's game for the final ending of this race. 25 minutes to go. Track temperatures have gone up by a few degrees. It is getting warmer on this Sunday afternoon at Kyalami. And while we had to just go and say big ups and big thanks to MSA Motorsport South Africa for allowing a Logistical Nightmare Racing to showcase this beautiful event of a cup championship. And then of course big ups to the sponsor. Without them it would have not been possible to hold a fantastic season like this. It's just been epic all the way through. Race has been phenomenal, whether we started at the first season to the second one, trying to locate who will compete in the finals. The 3 races at finals, Zolder, Misano, and then of course Kyalami. Unusual grid start positions as always. Nothing is ever clear cut at Logistical Nightmare Racing, or what we would call the LNR community. Just never clear cut in any given circumstances. Always epic and fun. And there's always a spanner in the works. Farmer, on the other hand, he just seems to be the aggressor at this moment, trying to look any which way he can for that position on Holzhausen. Holzhausen doing all the defending at the moment, and he seems to have everything under control. This is what I call clear, clean cut racing. Like, it's like, you know, the guy behind you is not going to make any crucial moves to then devastate his race. It's just all good, clean racing. I just love it, and it's fundamentally absolutely fabulous. Did we have incidents? Of course we did. In general, I can probably count like 5, 6 incidents today where we had a bit of fender bending between a few drivers on track. But in general, sim racing has always improved and evolved and developed, and it's just getting better and better. This is pro class style racing at its best. These boys can always get onto each other and deliver the best that can be delivered in any given circumstance. It's just beautiful to see all over the show. Back to the front of the grid now. Of course, Ferrara is still the man that has not pitted. He is about 12 seconds ahead of the Mayor, who I would take based on pit stops and pit time will take his penultimate first place position. He's got a good 6-second delta on his teammate Bauer there, who has only about a second in between him and Peterson. So, and not far off the map is Serodio. So I reckon there's gonna be somewhat of a battle sometime soon for that second place position. And this is evolving slowly but surely. Peterson just looks to be the aggressor today, and I'm hoping that little error that he made in the beginning, whereby Skitter managed to pass him, isn't costing him, because those were valuable minutes that he lost. And this is gonna evolve, so everyone keep your eyes out for that one. And I truly believe this ain't over until the checkered flag sings, is where I'm at. Anyone else on stream indicating any good things? If you guys see something that I don't see, just point me into the right direction and I'll go and have a look. But in all fairness, it just looks clear and simple. The Jager in the Pro-Am division, currently in 12th spot. He's got a good gap between himself and all the other Pro-Am boys. Dave Young, who is in the 19th position with car 29, was the one that would have challenged him at some other point. Probably made a few fumbles. It would not surprise me that the cheetah corner came to play, and that is most likely what occurred. That it's just one of the toughest corners on the racing grid on any given moment, but real good clean racing. Peterson slowly catching Bauer, like lap by lap. It is showing that delta has come down quite a lot, and if we look at it from the last lap, Peterson did a 146 and Bauer a 141.7. That is 4 tenths that he has caught up. The gap is now down to less than a second between these two, and this is gonna get epic. Don't go away, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, because I truly see that big moves are going to be made, and I'm hoping that they are very consistent moves. Yeah, I would agree with you, Bat, on the channel chat there. They're doing a phenomenal job. Lots of prep work that needed to go through there, lots of practicing that everyone had to go and do, just to make sure that they have what is needed to finish a fantastic race like this. But this battle is ever evolving more and more. Serodio, on the other hand, is still a few seconds behind the two, but he is doing everything in his power to gain much better momentum. Let's just see if we can see anything defensive from Bauer onto Growthorn. Not much. Peterson there, but not really making any moves onto Bauer. So no aggressive signs at this stage for these two drivers. Ferrara, who did lead the race not so long ago, did make his pit stop. So everything is as what we would expect. Mayer in the lead by 7 seconds. Bauer in second place. I think Bauer's got it secured from a point standing position. Let's just have a quick peek and see where we would sit at. This is what the pro championship sits at. So every point for Peterson will help him get the edge over everyone else ahead of him in the championship. Of course, this does make it quite hard. Well, quite interesting. Like, where are we going to sit? Like, Peterson at this moment is in 5th place. He is making up places, so currently ahead of Musa and Serodio. But I think he needs the 2nd place just to get that bit extra edge, and he needs to make moves. Is he gonna do it now at Crowthorne? He is very close on the rear end. Does Bauer go defensive? Opens up, takes a look, pulls back, holds off. That was very close. Now, whether he just hinted to Bauer that there's someone on your rear end, or just gave a note to say, you give it to me and I will take it, I don't know. What I can just imagine what's going on in this man's head. Both drivers, both Bauer and Peterson. Bauer going, I am okay from a general standpoint of view. I reckon Bauer can finish 3rd and he'll still take the 2nd place. So I don't believe calculating, like, this is just me offhand calculating, might be very wrong. But even if Bauer finishes 3rd today, 2nd place in the LNR Cup Championship is his to take. So does he need to be aggressive? Probably not. He can take his race all the way through, and just ensure that he finishes well. Peterson, on the other hand, is the man that needs to be the aggressor. But he has to be smart in that, because he makes one small mistake and he sits back 7 or 8 positions behind where he would have wanted to start end off with. So it has to be smart choices between these two drivers to ensure that they finish well, and just see how close they are from a helicam point of view. Does Peterson make another move? Bauer doesn't really go defensive in Crowthorne, but Peterson, on the other hand, not very close to him. $14 minutes of racing still left, so plenty of time for them to do what is needed. Just need to be quite smart in how they're going to deal with it. Now, there is a 3-way battle in the mid-pack at the moment, but again, it's not really a tough 3-way battle. We've got Ferrara chasing down De Jager, the man in the Pro-Am division. Ferrara takes a deep dive into it. De Jager's gone in and challenging him. No, not really. Just going through the hoops of the corners, realizing that he doesn't need to do much for himself. It's a long-term run. No need to make very silly mistakes. Just finish strong. 13 minutes left still to go. That is not your battle. You are going for your Pro-Am Cup Championship. Now, of course, not far behind him is Bueta, who's slowly climbing the ladder. But the fight here does seem to be between De Pria and Ferrara. De Jager just being in the mix between them, which is kind of okay. I mean, nothing wrong with a bit of good racing. Still looking ahead of the pack. Nothing really changed here between the top 3. We need the excitement. The spectators need the excitement. But clever racing is what one needs to do. You can't just make silly moves. Silly moves is not going to help anyone. Ooh, that's a deep entry there by Bauer. Didn't unsettle him that much. Still created a bit of momentum for him to exit as they go through the S's. was a very marginal error by Bauer. Goes in extremely deep there by Sunset. Still managed to hold his car in position, coming out of Lukop all the way down to Mineshaft. Still strong and durable. Not big moves by Peterson. He is a lot closer though. I think it's all about setup. 3/10 between the two drivers. A lot harder to follow a car through Cheetah. It's all about the exit. That just looks like such a beautiful exit there by Peterson. Is it going to be his time to take the move into Growthorn? Bauer going a bit defensive. Peterson looks on the inside, takes a long deep dive, makes the move, sticks it through, and he's in. That was well worth it. Good defense by Bauer, but just couldn't make it happen. Peterson just decided to brake a little bit later than Bauer, made the corner, and then took the position away. Now, again, smart, clever driving by both drivers in general. Bauer knows that all he needs to do is finish the race, and of course he did go and defend his position as best as he could. Peterson had to be the aggressor because he knows every point counts for him to climb the ladder. Now, whether he will get that position that he wants to, that is to be determined. Now, of course, he's got 7 seconds of a delta to go and try and catch Mayer, which I don't think he will do. However, it is very possible. I'm not saying it is not. I do say it is possible because Peterson is the aggressor, but that means he's gonna have to take a second lap away from Mayer, which I honestly believe is the hardest thing to do for the final 10 minutes. Now, of course, Mayer would be very well aware that he doesn't have his teammate as a buffer, so he might just turn on the taps and get moving to make sure that he maintains that gap in between them. Now, in general, both Mayer and Peterson, from lap times point of view, are equally running at this stage. So if I say that is a big hill to climb for Peterson to try and catch, not pass, just catch, Mayer is massive. Half a second a lap is probable, but I don't think it is going to happen. All he now needs to know is to do is make sure he finishes strong and maintains that gap. Sorodio, on the other hand, has fallen a bit back though. Skitter looking good there in 5th position. And in all fairness, Buerta is making moves. Like, Buerta is driving one hell of a final stint at this stage. He's only got Dupriya ahead of him, and then the Jager not far from him. So the Jager has to be aware that he is being challenged. Now, of course, it's only Buerta challenging him, and from a standing point of view, it's gonna give Buerta a much better result than what Dave would have wanted. I'm gonna give you guys just a bit of inside info here. But from the Pro-Am division, as you can see, I mean, Ulrich the Jager is far ahead of everyone else, so he needs to win what he has to do. But Daniel Buerta, currently in 3rd, is looking to potentially take 2nd place, and he's going to do as much as he can to maybe get close to the Jager. So again, we are not finished yet. This championship is still ever evolving for the finals. Now, of course, it's easy to say to catch someone on track. It's the hardest thing to do is to to make the passing maneuvers as we have seen in between the previous lot. But the Jager has to be aware that he is probably under a bit of pressure there. Dupria in the Pro Class is the middleman in between them. He's going to make a move onto the Jager through Sunset. Takes the position away from him. The Jager goes on the outside. And now he's got Buerta all over him. That is not what he would have wanted. He definitely enjoyed the buffer between himself and Buerta. De Jager under a bit of pressure with Buerta on his tail end now. And this is probably going to shake it up a bit in the Pro-Am division. Oh, someone needs to do the math for me. If Buerta is ahead of De Jager, will De Jager win or lose the championship? This is the big question. Let's see if I can do a bit of head math on me. So that is 50 points versus a possible 47 points. There's only a 3-point deficit. So no, not gonna do much. Not gonna do much. It will be close though, like very, very close. Hey, if only Daniel Buerta had a better race in round one. Round one was his deficit. He was just not there in the mix. Daniel Buerta, however, did win last week's race at Misano. Today he's coming out swinging as big as he can, currently in second place, chasing down De Jager. Only to realize that this probably could have been his victory, but by the looks of it, De Jager is doing everything he can to take it away, and I think he will. I honestly do. It doesn't matter what Buerta does at this moment. If Buerta does pass him, it's all good, but Buerta took leaps and bounds from where he started in the initial round. So a phenomenal drive by Buerta. I'll give him heads up for that. It's just spectacular. From the front of the grid, everything has more or less settled down. As I said, Peterson would have had a massive uphill battle to try and catch Meyer here, who evidently will definitely take the MSA Cup Championship winnings in the Pro Division today, unless he makes a massive mistake in the final 4 minutes, which I truly don't believe is gonna happen. An individual with so much class, talent, and speed will most likely take it all the way through. Less than 4 minutes to go. I reckon it's a good 3, maybe 4 laps of racing. 4 is most likely pushing it, so all he has to do is bring the car home to then take the victory by storm. And that is back-to-back winnings. He won at Zolder, he won at Misano, and by the looks of it, he's going to win Kyalami and then have the bragging rights to be, I would say, the first. We've had many winners at LNR over the years of hosting sim racing, and if I say years, it feels like a longevity of time, but this is one for the books and one to be remembered. Proudest moment of probably my day and everyone else's day on the mix, and I'm gonna take a moment and go big up some big thanks to, of course, MSA, the individuals surrounding MSA, all the other communities working together to ensure that we formulate good agreements and relationships with one another, putting sim racing at the top of the level that it should be. Big thanks from me to them for doing everything they do, and of course for the admin boys in the PC division at Logistical Nightmare, as well as the console and so forth. I'm not gonna shy away from that, but a big thanks of course to Paul Fainter making this happen, and the team of individuals he has behind him to allow it to happen. Now Paul Fainter is not running today, but he's definitely watching, so this is me thanking them for everything they have done. And then of course a final thanks to all the sponsors and everyone watching the races. It's been phenomenal, and it's been a fantastic adventure. Now I don't think this is gonna be the final lap unless Mayer decides to go very slow in the final lap. So we got about 2 minutes of, well, just over a minute of racing. I always go 2 minutes, but it's just over. So I reckon he's gonna finish it in the next lap. Bauer currently in third, Peterson in second, and then of course De Jager battling it out with Bueta there, who won last week's race but just didn't have the best first race at Zolder, excuse me. So I reckon if that had changed, you would have had a massive battle for the finals in the Pro-Am. However, he is definitely in there today. It just all depends on where he finishes up. Dave Young, on the other hand, raced his hearts out today. A very tough one for him. One he will most likely reflect on for the near future. Heading to the final corners, and of course this is not the final. Oh, this might be clever. He does slow down a lot. Oh, that was close. Mayer did not want to do another lap, almost finishing it up in the final laps, and he slowed down so much to see if he can finish it off without doing another lap. And then things have changed. Peterson now within a second of Mayer. Mayer has to now drive to survive, which I'm fairly certain he will. I cannot believe he wanted to do that. That was close. That was very close. I thought they would, he might, but big risks. It's where it ends at. One more final lap. It's now a top 2 battle, which I don't think Peterson has in him to maybe make a move and setting it up for a passing maneuver. Such a tough one. But it's close. Almost a P1 to P2. One has to do what one needs to do in order to make it happen. Final few corners, and this is really the final few corners. Paul Mayer heads into Cheetah, brings it back down and goes into home. Solid run through Ingwe. That is your victory for the race. Mayer takes the checkered flag. Peterson not far off from him. Then of course Bauer in third place. Serodio bringing it back in fourth. Now he has been chased down by Skitter in fifth, and then of course Musa there in sixth. I'm just gonna check it out. Everyone goes in the pits. This is where we are. These boys drove phenomenal today. Donuts all the way. Happy to see that. I'm gonna wait a few minutes before I go check out. Oh, give me more donuts. Donuts everywhere. The Jager coming through in the final corners, and these boys must keep donuts. Ooh, Big battle still. Ingwe through. De Jager will take the victory for the Pro-Am division. Closely followed by Bueta in second place. And then, of course, Denoon there will take third place. He is not far off Hannes van der Sant in fourth. But donuts everywhere. Big ups, big thanks to everyone on the stream. Mayor, thank you for those donuts. Peterson, oh no, Mayor still donating. Please still donut. There we go. Happy days. Haley Cam. Beautiful. To everyone on the stream, I thank you for your support. This is fantastic. Our first ever Cup Championship taken by a storm with Mayor for sure. The rest will be announced throughout the week, as well as everything else that will follow with it. Again, my big ups and big thanks to everyone, the sponsors, MSA, the drivers, the support on YouTube. You guys have been phenomenal. Love shared everywhere else. Have a good afternoon. Catch you later. Until next time. Thank you. Good day. God bless. Goodbye.